Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Play Total Annihilation. I am your host, Neruz, and this is Arm Mission 3. Arm Mission 3 introduces a couple of new concepts, or rather, new concepts which I haven't explained yet, and also one new concept. These guys up here are spider tanks. It doesn't actually say in the mission briefing, but in the manual it mentions that spider tanks are actually technically K-bots, not vehicles, but they're so big that they have to be built in vehicle plants. I don't know why I remember this fact, but I do. Spiders are kind of interesting. They're advanced vehicles, and we won't actually get the chance to build them for quite a while, so we won't see them again for quite a while. But they have a couple of unique traits. They are an ARM unique unit. The core doesn't get anything like them. And first unique trait is they can climb pretty much anything that's not a straight vertical surface. They've got full mobility to a level that even most K-bots can't match. I think only light K-bots like the Pee-wee and the AK can climb the same sort of stuff that the Spider can, which means they can get into all kinds of silly positions. They're not so useful on Core Prime, which of course, as you've seen, is all rigid and straight walls and whatnot, but pretty much anywhere else they can get into all kinds of weird spots and be a real menace to deal with. However, their weapon is a laser. Doesn't look very impressive, does it? But what happens if I attack this spider? Oh. He's not taking any damage at all. But what's that? If you look down at the bottom of the screen, you might notice that it says this spider's status is paralyzed. What does paralyzed mean? Well, it doesn't mean they can't move. It means they can't fire. Oh, no, it does mean they can't move as well. I don't know why it said it was paralyzed then. I thought it meant they couldn't move. Alright. Paralyzed means that you can't move and you can't fire. See? Nothing happens. As you may notice, however, the spider's laser does precisely 0 points of damage. That's right. Nothing. Spiders on their own, completely useless. Spiders in armies with other guys, oh, very handy. Especially when taking out certain specialty units that the core like to have. The core typically have very powerful late game units, and having spiders around to keep them under control can be extremely handy. Now, we've got to get our spiders up here, back behind this row of dragon's teeth. And as you would expect, there is a shit ton of core all throughout this area. In fact, I think there's a whole bunch of storms and K-bots and whatnot patrolling around down here. So, yeah, we're just going to leave the spiders at the top of this hill for now, where the core can't see them, or get to them. I don't think any core units can actually walk up here, although, actually looking at the steepness of that hill, some light K-bots might be able to get up, but they should be fine for now. So we're going to begin down here, doing our usual stuff. Building a base. Note, however, that where previously we had 3 metal extractor deposits to work with, now we've only got 1. That means that we're going to have to push out. Fortunately, we've got 3 hammers and 2 roccos, which gives us a reasonable force. It was mentioned... Oh, hello. Look, we've got another metal spot up here. Handy. And we've got a 3rd spot here, and it's a big spot. Oh, goody. It was mentioned in the thread that people would like to see the health point bars. I haven't had them turned on till now because I didn't really want to overwhelm you with information. But I'm going to turn them on now. As you can see, this just creates little health point bars. Total Annihilation does possess groups, which allow me to, for example, mark them as group 1, and then I can press Alt 1 and select them again. But because I have to press Alt to do the grouping, it's actually kind of annoying to use, and because units typically don't last very long anyway, I don't usually bother with it. Oh, here we go, incoming enemy thud. And he shouldn't last very long, but I'm worried my metal extractor might cop some fire. Alright, now, you may have noticed that while they were engaging that thud, my dudes all ran around in circles. There is a reason for this. It's because they are currently set to maneuver. There are stances in Total Annihilation. There's Hold Fire, which is these are the attack stances and the movement stances. Hold Fire means that they don't attack at all, ever. Return Fire means they only attack things which have attacked them. And Fire at Will means they fire at all enemy units, although as we noted in the previous mission, they only fire at enemy combat units. Look, some AKs. The other one is Maneuver, which we're now going to switch off. Just briefly. Oh, as you can see, we had a little friendly fire incident there. And I'm going to have the commander finish off this AK with his arm laser. Commander's arm laser is fairly potent. Now, this is going to give me a chance to demonstrate some new things. Here's another one new thing: wind generators. Wind generators are much cheaper than solar collectors. Solar collectors cost 145 metal and 760 energy. Wind generators cost 52 metal, so less than a third, and 509 energy. The reason for that should become pretty apparent right about now. Wind generators are fucking terrible. Now, there are a few exceptions to this. On some maps, the wind speed is incredibly high, and wind generator is actually worth getting. But on Empyrean maps, you usually get about 7 to 10 energy per wind generator, and as you can see, the wind direction actually changes. Wait, come here, you. As you can see, the wind direction actually changes, and the windmills have to reorient themselves to the wind, and the wind strength changes too. Look, now it's down to +8. So wind generators are super unreliable. As such, you probably won't see me building them again. Now, we've got a couple of new structures we can build here. We've got the K-Bot Lab from the last mission, but I'm not going to build that. I'm going to build a vehicle plant, and you'll see why in just a bit. Vehicle plants you should be familiar with from the Core Mission 2, as of course started off with vehicles. Effectively, K-Bots are infantry, and vehicles are vehicles. One moment, I need to relocate my cat. Uh-oh. We've got a thud attacking our metal extractor, that's no good. And it's going to explode. That's annoying. I'm going to have to... Ah yes, that's the part I want to defend. Degun time. Not putting up with thuds in my base. There. And we got more coming. Right. Now. As I was saying, I think, the other new unit we got up here is the radar tower. Radar tower is pretty much one of the most valuable structures you can build. And the reason why will become apparent as soon as I build one. As you can see, they're dirt cheap. They're also really fragile, and a single shot from almost anything will kill them, and that's a thud to get out. Core are a bit more aggressive in this game, so I'm going to start producing some dudes. Ah, almost got a double kill. There we go. Now, if you look at my mini-map, you might notice something. Holy shit, there's red dots everywhere. What? What? Well, that's because of this guy, Radar. Radar produce a green circle around them, which reveals the, oh dear, location of enemy units. And in case you're wondering, yes, units can and will fire at enemies that they can only see on the radar. However, they won't do it automatically. At least not at the moment. There's a certain way to get around that, but you won't be seeing that for a very long time, because I believe it's part of one of the expansion pack thingies. Uh-oh, instigators. That's no good. As you can see, an AK has made it up to our spiders and started shooting at it. I've had this spider just simply engage it, keep it paralyzed indefinitely. And we're also... ooh, the metal's not looking too good. Now, it said something about reclaiming. And you'll note that... actually, no, I'm not going to show that. Reclaiming is something that any constructor unit can do. And basically, you'll note that if I mouse over this wreckage, it says M45. It means there's 45 metal in the wreckage. And if I right-click on it with a construction unit, my commander, that construction unit, in this case my commander, will suck up the wreckage and add that amount of metal to my storage. Zoop. See? Reclaiming is vital in Total Annihilation. It will allow you to come back from a situation that you would defeat if your enemies just keep blindly throwing units into you. You can actually make your enemies stronger by doing that. So it's a good idea to try and not just constantly throw blind walls of units into enemies, because in the end, every unit they kill in their base is more resources for them. You can also reclaim natural structures like rocks. I can also reclaim dragon's teeth, but as you can see, they're only worth 8 metal, so no. However, if I had an enemy dragon's teeth blocking me from going somewhere, then reclaiming them is much more effective than trying to destroy them. Dragon's teeth, in case you were wondering, function basically like walls. They provide a blob of metal which won't get attacked and is really difficult to destroy. And it will block low-range shots like lasers and whatnot. Now I'm producing these guys from my vehicle plans, and these guys are why ARM are awesome. This one unit right here is the singular reason why ARM early game is so ludicrously powerful. And you may have remembered that in the previous mission you saw Pee-wees, which had EMG weapons. Oh god. And I mentioned how EMG weapons are really powerful, but Pee-wees are kind of squishy. Well, I mean, for vehicles, flashes are kind of squishy too, but because they're vehicles, they're a lot tougher than Pee-wees. And they also have EMG weapons. The Flash Rush, where basically you just build a bunch of vehicle plants and a bunch of flashes and then you rush the enemy. It's exactly what it sounds like, really. It was a very common tactic in multiplayer and was one of the primary reasons why EMGs were banned. A properly executed Flash Rush on a number of smaller maps is pretty much unstoppable by the core. You can't really do anything about it. Now the commander, as well as reclaiming, could also repair. Any construction unit can repair, and repairing does drain resources, but it drains less resources than building a new unit of the type. And it drains resources proportional to how much was damaged. This hammer will take more metal to repair than this hammer will take more metal to repair than this hammer. As you can see, it's draining about... Actually, is it draining anything? No, it's not draining anything. Okay, I thought repairing in Total Annihilation cost resources, but I was incorrect. Repairing does not cost resources in Total Annihilation. That's only Supreme Commander, the sequel. Or the spiritual sequel, rather. The technical sequel is Total Annihilation Kingdoms, which is more sort of a spin-off-y thing, and we might get to that later, I don't know. Yes, that makes repairing actually a lot better than I thought it was. So I'm going to be doing a lot of repairing. The other stuff we see here is the Jeffy, which is the ARM equivalent of the Weasel. Fast, made of paper, tiny, pathetic little laser, but handy for scouting. And we can see, okay, there's a crappy resource patch there, there's a bunch of storms up there, and there we go, my Jeffies are dead. Ooh, but there's a big metal spot over there. Might want to go grab that. Although, once we've got to there, we can probably just push up and rescue the spiders. Now, what I've built here is a construction vehicle. Construction vehicles are vital. As you can see, construction vehicles can build dragon's teeth. The commander cannot. Construction vehicles are the first level construction unit, and they have access to sort of tier 1.5 buildings, whereas the commander can only build tier 1 buildings. So you need construction units to advance your tech. At the moment, all I can do is build dragon's teeth. Not really very useful. But I can send construction vehicles out to claim those metal deposits without risking my commander, which is handy. Now I'm going to take these hammers and put them up there, except that that guy is going to go there. Then I'm going to grab these flashes and have them charge across the river here. These should be more than enough to clean out this area. And if they're not, well, can always build some more. Yeah, flashes are awesome. There's also Stumpies, which are medium assault tanks. They're similar to Raiders, in fact they're almost identical. They fire one shot which goes... It makes a little explodey, and it does a bit of damage, but it's... I mean, why would you build them when you've got flashes? Look at this, look at this. There we go, just overrun these storms. Oh, look at that! Yes! Holy crap, that's a lot of storms. Stumpies can be considered the vehicular version of the hammer, basically. Yeah, here we go. And this is why flashes are awesome. As you can see, I have lost a few flashes, and some of them are taking damage, but they are just tearing these K-bots apart. Just taking them to pieces. And the reason for that is because flashes are quite fast, but have a pretty decent traversal speed on their turret. So they can just run around in circles and dodge shit. They're probably not going to survive this encounter though, so I'm going to abandon them up there. Oh, some more thuds. No, wait. No, maybe that's the same as the last thuds. I'm not sure. Oh, my vehicle plant has been badly damaged. No, I'm pretty sure that was some more thuds. It's worth noting that this mission was in the demo, but in the demo mission you were started with the light laser tower there. I was kind of expecting that to be there, so I sort of forgot to build one. And it looks like I got counterattacked by one of the units wandering around up here. As you can hear from all those explosions, our flashes are still going. They are still tearing things apart. And that's thanks to the fact that they are in the roam stance. The roam stance, units will, well, roam. They'll go wherever they want. In hold position stance, the units will stay exactly where you put them. And in maneuver stance, they'll sort of wander around in a small area, but not too far away. In practice, maneuver stance seems to be just wherever the hell they feel like, but it is sort of a smaller whatever the hell they feel like than roam, so I usually use either roam or hold position because I find that maneuver doesn't really accomplish anything, which roam doesn't as well. And roam allows me to basically select a unit, put a group of units, stick them somewhere and say, go for it! Alright, now we've cleared out that area, we can send our construction vehicle up to build that. And we can grab our spiders and have them climb down to this safe area we've made. Spiders are also somewhat amphibious. They can't go in, they're not completely amphibious, they can't just wander into whatever water they feel like, but they can cross deeper water than some other units. Flashes move up here. Let's exterminate the last of the core with our flash army. Now you can see why flashes are amazing. So we've still got that first group of flashes. And here's the second group. Well, the core do not stand a chance. And we'll just have the spiders run down here. If you want to, you can sort of try and stick the spiders past the core. I did manage to get it to work once, but it's probably not worth it. Oh, look, there's another. I did not know that metal patch was up there. Wow, that would actually have been a lot easier. I could have just walked the commander around. Huh. I didn't need to go out and fight for this metal patch. I could have just wandered the commander around and taken that one. Oh, I feel foolish now. Oh, and there's more metal patches up here as well. Wow. Why are there so many metal patches? It's really not that hard to get the spiders. Especially with flashes. I mean, if I had to use K-bots, maybe it would be a bit harder, but not a whole lot. As you can see, flashes also have pretty decent terrain traversal too, because they're quite light and fast. And light and fast is good. We like light and fast. Hey, victory gongs! Spiders are past the dragon's teeth. See you next time.